All right, trying this again. Trying this again. I'll wait a second for people to rejoin. I think it's an issue with my camera. I think it's this camera that's the problem whenever that happens. I don't know. Because, there we go. Yes, sorry. Whenever I get that error message, I then get a pop up that says, "We can't use your camera because it's being used by something else." And I have no idea what that means. So I don't know if some other application is popping up and messing with the camera and freezing everything, or if it's just my internet connection goes in and out and that ruins the whole stream. We'll wait a few minutes for more people to rejoin. But I do apologize. Let's see. I've got pencil and my favorite Sharpie. I did have a favorite Sharpie, but it dried up. So now this was my number 2 favorite Sharpie. Now it's number 1 favorite Sharpie. I'm really sad about losing my favorite Sharpie. I lived a good life. Hello from, hey, CLB from Australia. I did Australia before, but we'll do it again. I'm waiting for someone to return who requested Luxembourg. Then we'll read Australia. You know what? We'll read all the other little facts about Australia, not the blurb that I read before. How's that? How's that? Let's see. Also, if you could, and I like the little hearts, thank you, but if you could also hit that thumbs up, that would also be even more helpful. More and more people would join if you hit that thumbs up, because YouTube likes when videos suddenly get lots of likes and they'll push the videos out to other people. So I'd appreciate that. All right, I'm going to put a pin in Luxembourg then. I'll put a pin in Luxembourg. And we'll read some other Australia facts. Have I heard about the flood in Sumatra? It's so sad. It's still happening every. Oh my goodness. Poor Sumatra. I feel like I have, but that it feels like a part of the world that has a lot of floods. My heart goes out to Sumatra then. That is very sad. Flooding in that corner of the world is no joke. Very serious. Let's read these little blurbs here. I'm going to read these and these. It says, the top things to see. It's a concert, dance, or theatrical performance at the country's most recognizable icon, the Sydney Opera House. The red hues of Uluru, an awe-inspiring natural monolith that is both ancient and sacred. Hey, Farouk, good to see you. A broom, where the desert meets the sea in contrasting aquamarines, rust reds, and pearl whites. Gareth, it's your birthday in 2 days. Happy birthday. I'm sorry you have an ear infection. Take care, Gareth. Provocative and engaging art at the world-class Mona, an eclectic museum housed in an underground lair in Hobart. Paradisiacal beaches and an astounding underwater world as you island hop around the Whitsundays on the Great Barrier Reef. Dude, one of my favorite ASMR channels right now is Relaxing ASMR with Lisa, and she moved to the Whitsundays, and she has lots of Whitsundays content. It's so great. Check out Relaxing ASMR with Lisa. She's incredible. Top things to do in Australia. Discover Aboriginal culture, rock art, and biological diversity at majestic Kakadu National Park. Wind your way beside wild waters and craggy rock formations, then whip inland through rainforests driving the Great Ocean Road. Partner world-class wine and cosmopolitan dining at vineyard restaurants in the Barossa Valley or Margaret River. Spy gentle giant whale sharks at the World Heritage listed Ningaloo Reef. Hey, Veer. Hey, Veer. And kayak around the sheltered waters of Tasmania's Freycinet Peninsula. It says, celebrate this. Launched in 2020, Welcome to Country is a website showcasing the increasing range of Indigenous travel and tourism experiences offered by Aboriginal groups and Torres Strait Islanders. Oh, Vera has to travel home soon. Kakadu. Oh, good to know. Kakadu. Dude, I think a cat just turned on the Xbox. Did you guys hear that? I think so. I'm not sure. Anyway, Kakadu. Good to know. I've always said cockatoo. Thank you. And then, random fact, the great Australian inventions include the bionic ear, the black box flight recorder, and the wine cask. Very cool. Wine cask. All right, let's read about Luxembourg. Hey, Alex. The Mud Boy is here. We'll do Luxembourg next because I promised. And then let me know what country you want me to read next. I'm just going to read the big blurb up here. It says the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg is a throwback to the days when Europe was a constantly evolving patchwork of tiny states. Hey, Alessia. Okay, Woody, we'll do Belgium after this. Sitting in the heart of Western Europe, its own heart is Luxembourg City, a UNESCO-listed stunner commanding the confluence of the Alzette and Petrus rivers. To the north lies Gutland, the good land of villages, pasture, and the Moselle vineyards. And beyond that, the Luxembourgish portion of the Ardennes, watered by numerous rivers and studded with perfect towns such as Esch-sur-Sour and Vlaanderen. Throughout this tiny country, ruled by Grand Duke Henri and his Cuban-born Duchess, you'll find a people as proud and cosmopolitan as they are friendly. Good old Luxembourg. All right, let's read about Belgium for Woody. Love Belgium. Belgium is this way. Belgium. Let's see. This has got to be Bruges. Does it say? It is Bruges. Haha. Belgium. There are few places that feel more in the heart of Europe than Belgium, a multilingual country smack bang in the middle of Western Europe that Dutch-speaking Flemish in the north call, oh goodness, België, and French-speaking Walloons in the south call La Belgique. Indeed, it's this north-south cultural and linguistic divide that makes this intimate country so unexpectedly fascinating. Amble in the shade of Art Nouveau architecture in its capital, Brussels, give a nod to the EU headquarters, surrender to the sweet seduction of the finest chocolate, immerse yourself in Antwerp's vibrant fashion scene and cool clubs, and down a fine local beer or three. Awesome. Good old Belgium. Let's see. It says it's a Brussels pub dating from 1928, translating to a sudden death. Goodness. Should we do Moldova and Romania for Alicia and Alex? I don't know. Give me a country, guys. It's so snowy here, under severe winter in much of Romania. Well, then let's start with Romania. Iceland. Yes. All right, Romania, then Iceland. Sounds good. Good old Romania. You guys, Romania Mania is done on the channel. Did you guys enjoy it? Let's do it, says Alex. Romania and then Iceland, which is perfect because the video going up today is about Reykjavik. So I've got Iceland on the mind. Romania. Transylvania is hands down Romania's best known region, and Count Dracula its best known resident. But Romania has a great deal more to it than vampire legends. With a mighty section of the Carpathian Mountains, a white sand stretch of Black Sea coast, bucolic vistas wherever you turn your gaze, Orthodox churches, and a clutch of medieval walled cities. Romania is more picturesque than Bram Stoker would have you believe. The country's more recent cultural draws include Cluj-Napoca's art collective, the Fabrica de Pensul, I hope, Yashi's restored Palace of Culture, and acclaimed film festivals in Brasov and beyond. And from the protected wetlands of the Danube Delta to the well-marked trails in the soaring Retezat Mountains, Romania's great outdoors are teeming with adventure. Nice. Alex lives in Yashi. Congratulations. Holy moly, CLB. That is hot in Australia. Yeah, you guys are in the heat of summer right now. Meanwhile, out here in Idaho, there's like 3-4 inches of snow in my yard. We're in complete opposites, aren't we? Speaking of snow, let's talk about Iceland. Iceland. Jeeps. Jealous. Yeah, I'm enjoying winter. I'm not ready for spring to come or any heat. Iceland. Look at the pony. So cute. You're going to see Icelandic ponies in the Google Earth section today. So cute. Iceland is a country in the making, a vast volcanic laboratory where mighty forces created by tectonic plates shape the land and shrink human onlookers to insignificant specks. See it in the gushing geysers, glooping mud pools, lava spurting volcanoes, and slow grinding glaciers. Hey JJ, hello. Have a good day at work. Experience it firsthand, bathing in turquoise-colored hot springs, kayaking through a fjord, scanning the horizon for breaching whales, or crunching across a dazzling white ice cap. Lower prices and an international recognition of its natural wonders have seen a huge influx of visitors in recent years. But away from the capital, Reykjavik, and the touristy Golden Circle, it's still easy to drive on deserted roads, looking out for waterfalls, the unique Icelandic horses, traces of the country's Viking origins, and those elusive northern lights. The sea. Oh, I see. Alex. The sea in Napoca. See, like, I knew that. I knew that. I totally knew that. But I feel like, what was it? I was reading about Slovenia and a little bit, yeah, I've got Czechia coming up soon too. So I feel like I've got that on the mind, that C's are pronounced like that. I'm sorry, Alex. I never mean to mispronounce things with bad intentions. I'm always trying my hardest here. It's a lot of little language things to remember. I agree, Alessia. Doing all this Iceland research for my Reykjavik video has really made me want to visit, and I don't know, I got recommended a lot of YouTube channels of people who relocated to Iceland and about their life, and it's like, man, it seems awesome. It seems great, actually. Let's do, where was it? Italy, because Alessia says it's snowing in Venice. CLB has a friend that lives there. That's so neat. That would be, if I had a friend that lived in Iceland, I'd be visiting all the time. But yeah, let's do Italy, since we're in the eyes, for Alessia. who's Moldovan but living in Venice. Such a great job. Thank you, Alex. You know I try so hard. Let's do Italy for Alessia. Italy. I was hoping there would be a Venice picture, but there's not. But still, there's some Dolomites for you. As elegant as the finely staged opera, as exuberant as a street carnival, as earthy as a white truffle snouted fresh from the ground, Italy manages to be all things to all people. It's almost a cliche to visit Italy's abundant assets. So well known are they on the world stage. Almost any kind of trip you could imagine is possible in this boot shaped nation, from ski trips in the icy Alps to cultured city breaks and beach escapes on the shores of Sicily. Whether your tastes run to Roman ruins and Renaissance sculpture, or catwalk fashion and Europe's most passionate cuisine, Italy always delivers. The only challenge is how to fit in all the architectural tours, gourmet tastings, and languorous 2-hour long lunches. So true. I have friends that have a what is it, Rick Steves tour in Italy planned for this spring, and I'm so jealous. We love Rick Steves on the channel. Hello, Hannah Nirai, I hope. Hello, welcome. Again, if you request a country, I will read this nice little blurb for you in a nice, soft ASMR voice for you guys. Just give me a country, and I'll read to you some facts. And like I said before this stream broke, I've also got my atlases over here. Alex says he loved his time in Italy, I'm sure. I've got my World History Atlas here if you want to request a time period history. I've got my basic, very easy atlas over here that I used for a long time on the channel before I got the big atlas. We can flip through maps too if you want. Just let me know what you want to do. I'm down for anything. This is all just an experiment to try out this angle while going live. See how it works. I really wanted to do the live from my phone, but I wanted to use this microphone and I can't hook it up to my phone. And there's a Salif says Japan. Yes, let's do Japan. That sounds fantastic. Historical says CLB, yeah. J. That's K still. Japan, look at Godzilla. Maybe my cat Jaguar will pop up. Oh no, he's asleep on the floor next to me because he's named after a Godzilla character. Japan. Japan is one of those places. What was that? I do not know what that was. Okay. Japan is one of those places that both conforms to and confounds expectations. The cliches, Zen gardens, sumo wrestlers, bullet trains, cherry blossom, geisha, are easy to find, but so are experiences that challenge the stereotypes, spotting bears on Hokkaido, basking on tropical beaches in Okinawa Prefecture, skiing on perfect powder in the Japan Alps. Overlaying everything is Japan's complex, nuanced culture. This is a country where manners have been elevated to an art form, and where dressing up as a manga superhero is as commonplace as leaving offerings at a Shinto shrine. Japan manages to be both one of the world's most modern nations and one of its most traditional, an intoxicating mix for travelers looking for deep immersion into the unfamiliar. That's a good Japan summary, isn't it? Let's see, busy alleyway. is this? Original building of Kyoto's Kinkakuji. Dates from 1397. And over here we have Kabira Bay, it says, in the Iriomote Ishigaki National Park in Okinawa. Good morning. Oh, do I know you? Your name's it looks like Hindi, if I'm not mistaken. But I feel like I recognize your profile picture. Tell me your name, or at least what you want me to call you. That profile picture looks very familiar. I feel like we've met before here on this channel. Yeah, what country should we do? Foxtrot. Yes. Oh my gosh, it's Foxtrot. Hello, how are you? My goodness. Yeah, YouTube changed all of the displays because you have your username and then your actual name on YouTube. So it changed everything to usernames, and people's usernames are usually different from their handles. So that's very aggravating. I wish they didn't do that. But they did, and who knows if it'll switch back. Ukraine, says Alex. Let's go to the very back of the book. Let's talk about Ukraine. All the way to the back. Uganda, Ukraine. Wow, there we go. Hello, the Yamaski in Rincon, Puerto Rico. And yeah, we'll do Morocco next. Then Heartseeker says Liechtenstein or Andorra. Why not both? All right, we've got Ukraine, Morocco, Liechtenstein, Andorra. How's that? I would do Puerto Rico, but that's part of the U.S. And Nepal. Okay, goodness. Ukraine, Morocco, Liechtenstein, Andorra, Nepal. We got a set. Let's get to it. Starting with Ukraine. Hailed as the birthplace of Eastern Slavic civilization, Ukraine has been tossed by the storm fronts of European politics for as long as its inhabitants can remember. From the horrors of the Holodomor, when millions starved under Stalin's directives, to the terrors of Russia's 2022 invasion, Ukraine has struggled to emerge from the shadow of its vast eastern neighbor. Today, this westward-leaning former Soviet state is the epicenter of Europe's worst post-World War II conflict. But against all odds, its cultured cities and Orthodox culture endure. Whether the country's borders are redrawn by war remains to be seen. But locals aspire to a day when Ukraine can again showcase to the world the creative buzz of Kyiv, the cafe culture of Lviv, the peace of the countryside, and the green Carpathian Mountains. And Timor-Leste, says Colin Ross. Sure, Timor-Leste. It's a really nice summary. Slava, Ukraine. This looks like Pripyat here. It is Pripyat. Ooh. Someday I'm going to go here. All right, next is Morocco. Beautiful, beautiful Morocco. Beautiful. There's no beauty like Moroccan beauty. Good night, CLB. Have a good sleep. It's almost midnight over in Australia. Have a good sleep. Let's read about Morocco. From Near Eastern nomads and Phoenicians to Romans and Amazigh, Morocco's long history has been shaped by numerous cultures. Evidence of all is seen today in bloodlines, traditions, cuisine, architecture, and ancient monuments. The nation's cities also speak to this past, but to the future too, with the historic Medinas of Fez, Marrakesh, and Essaouira contrasting with the urban glass and glitz seen in Casablanca. Casablanca, Tangier, and Rabat. The landscapes that carpet this slice of North Africa are just as varied much like the richly colored and patterned rugs for sale in the atmospheric souks. There are the mountains of the High Atlas and the Reef, the dunes and oases of the Sahara, and the staggering coastlines of the Atlantic and Mediterranean. Beautiful Morocco. Here's looking at you, kid. I love Casablanca. Yeah, I've mentioned it many times in my video on Casablanca. That's one of my favorite classic films. All right, after Morocco, Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein. We already did Luxembourg now. Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein. With a history and monarchy as storybook as its mountain scenery, speckled with tiled roof stone castles and wintry snow scenes, Liechtenstein puts a whole new perspective on the European tour guides doing a country. Indeed, this tiny, wealthy nation, landlocked between Alpine greats, Austria, and Switzerland, can be done in a day, or 3 at most. And what a sweet, toy like experience it is. Its capital city, crowned with the king's castle and his vineyards, is of miniature proportions. Mountains envelop 2/3 of the country, and a 25-kilometer stroll takes you from Liechtenstein's northern to southern tip. Beautiful Liechtenstein. This is the Vaduz Castle here in the capital. Hold on one second. I'm going to take the sweater off. I have my heated blanket on, and the sweater, I'm getting really, really hot. 1 second. Take these headphones off. Take the sweater off. Don't worry, you're not going to see anything spicy. And then we're going to do Andorra, Nepal, and Timor-Leste. Doing all these little countries. There we go. All right, no more sleeves. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Be careful, there's wires all over the place to make this setup just so. Okay. All right. Next is Andorra. You see all these wires? If I mess with this one too much, the camera's going to collapse. So I have to just be very careful. Let's see. Andorra, all the way to the start of the book now. All the way to almost the very, very beginning. Andorra. There we go. Beautiful Andorra. Racing down snowy pistes. Yep, pistes. Sleeping snug between ice hotel walls and shopping in some of Andorra's hundreds of low-tax stores is how most think of this principality, neatly wedged between France and Spain and the Eastern Pyrenees. Fewer know about its history, which harks back to the 9th century. Its fascinating people, the cobbled core of Andorra la Vella, the country's only town, or its secret hoard of thermal spas that soothe weary limbs. The absence of an airport means Andorra never gets the attention it deserves, but jet into Barcelona in neighboring Spain or Toulouse in France, and this intriguing mini-nation is just a couple of hours' drive away. There's Andorra la Vella there. Already have a video on that town. All right, next is Nepal. Let's head to the middle of the book now. Talk about Nepal. So many M's. Never realized. There we go. Beautiful Nepal. Although hemmed in by giants, India on one side and China on the other, tiny Nepal still moves to its own unique rhythms. In this one time Himalayan kingdom, Hinduism and Buddhism flow together like the rivers that gush down from the high Himalaya and drain out into the Indian plains. Tiered temples and medieval monasteries perch atop mountain passes, and mountaineers and trekkers throng to trails that climb through rhododendron forests and high altitude deserts to the summits of the world's tallest peaks. Then there are the overlooked lowlands, sprinkled with wilderness reserves that shelter tigers, elephants, and rhinos. Disasters, both natural and man made, have often pushed the country to the brink. But somehow, Nepal always bounces back. Isn't that true from last year? If there's a better stand in for Shangri La anywhere on earth, we've yet to find it. Look at the yaks, how cute. Oh my goodness. They're so sweet. I love the name Shangri La. It just sounds like, I mean, it is a paradise, but it sounds like it too. Let's go to Timor-Leste, which this is a British book, so I'm pretty sure it's under T and not E. If it were an American book, it would be under E for East Timor. Pretty sure it's under T. Yep, here it is. Timor-Leste. Look at this coral. It must be Tarawa down here. Oh, sorry, Dili, not Tarawa. That's what Tarawa is. Kiribati. I'm way off. Ooh. Timor-Leste. Becoming the first sovereign state of the 21st century was no small victory for Timor-Leste, which fought hard for its independence from a 24-year occupation by Indonesian forces. While the first years of freedom were tumultuous, this impoverished former Portuguese colony is steadily rising to its feet. Stunning natural wonders, from mist-shrouded mountain peaks to rugged, deserted beaches, await those ready to challenge the lack of tourism infrastructure and diabolical but improving roads. Outside Dili, many people live in traditional dwellings, as they have for centuries. Pristine dive sites are still being discovered. Everywhere you go, you'll meet a proud people curious to find out what brings you to this corner of the world. Oh, Uzbekistan. Hey, listen, Heartseeker. First time you've ever heard of Timor-Leste? Well, let me tell you about Timor-Leste. Let me get my atlas out and I'll show you. I did an earlier stream that crashed and we did Uzbekistan, so I'll go and read all the little facts about Uzbekistan. I just won't read the main paragraph because I already did that one. All right. Here is Indonesia. I hope you can see with the glare of the light there. Indonesia's down there. There's Malaysia and the Philippines. And over here is the island of Timor in the Timor Sea. I hope you can see. And then to the east of the island of Timor is East Timor. It's a very tiny country. Oh, we already did Luxembourg too. We'll read all the little facts about Luxembourg. No problem. Luxembourgish Empire. My goodness. Yeah, that's where East Timor is located. Australia is just down there. Papua New Guinea is on the other side of Papua in Indonesia. And yeah, that's East Timor. It became a country in 2002. Oh, okay, you're the one. Yeah, I already read it. But that's okay. We'll read all the little facts. So yes, Uzbekistan. Oh, they're looking at it on Google Earth. Yeah, I already have a couple videos. I have it under East Timor on my channel, so you can go. Oh, okay, Luxembourg, that's okay. Hello, bonjour. It is the middle of the night, Camembert. Good to see you. It is almost 5 in the morning. kind of a long story, but don't worry about it. I'm okay. It's a work night for me, and I got work done early, so here I am. Let's read a little facts about Uzbekistan. See, I already read this paragraph and it was beautiful. So let's see the top things to see in Uzbekistan. It says Samarkand's Registan Square, one of the world's great architectural ensembles. Shai Zinda, Samarkand, a necropolis that marks the high point of Timurid tilework. The old slave raiding walled city of Khiva, frozen in time architecturally and surrounded by desert. The Savitsky Museum, a collection of Russian avant garde art in the remote city of Nukus, and Bukhara's Kalon Minaret, whose beauty and scale impressed even Genghis Khan. Woo, okay, there we go. Top things to do. Explore the millennia old citadels of Khorazm, haggle for Suzani embroidery and tie dyed ikat silks in backstreet bazaars, ride the Soviet era Tashkent metro with its lavishly decorated stations, get lost in the mosques, mausoleums, and madrasas of Bukhara's atmospheric back streets. Down here it says, celebrate this. Political and economic reforms following the death of dictator Islam Karimov in 2016 have transformed Uzbekistan society, turning it from political pariah to a tentative beacon of hope in the region. And the random fact is that Uzbekistan is one of 2 countries to be double landlocked, which means it's 2 countries away from the sea. We'll read little Luxembourg facts. That's okay. I don't mind. Luxembourg's a neat place. There's really no other place in the world like it. Luxembourg. Let's see the top things to see in Luxembourg. Modern art at Luxembourg City's Musée d'Art Moderne Grand Duc Jean. Superb views of the old town and river valleys from the Passerelle, Luxembourg City's dramatic 19th century viaduct. Got a friend from Uzbekistan. Her and her brother were adopted from a village. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, not for the village, but interesting story of your friend. Woods and rock formations in the Mullertal region, also known as Luxembourg's Little Switzerland. Echternach, a town steeped in Christian history and surrounded by forest. And Fjonden's huge ancient castle rising imperiously above the town's cobbled streets. Well, I know, Alex. You know what? I am literally 10 subscribers away from 30,000. Literally 10. So I'm hoping next week we'll do a big live stream to celebrate, and there'll definitely be a Russell emoji for sure. 10 subscribers away last I checked. Here's the top things to do in Luxembourg. Delve into the honeycomb innards of Luxembourg City's fortress casemates dating back to 1644. Stroll Luxembourg City's old town, then lunch al fresco on tree-lined Place d'Armes. Mosey from one winery to another along the Route de Vin in the Moselle Valley. Wander the 5-tiered remains of the shattered Chateau Beaufort. Visit the UNESCO World Heritage listed permanent exhibition by Luxembourg photographer Edward Steichen inside a castle in Clairvaux. Celebrate this. In a bid to encourage an uptake in usage and a decrease in the number of traffic jams, all public transport in Luxembourg became free in March of 2020. And a random fact, Luxembourg's commitment to the pan-European ideal was confirmed in 1985 when the Schengen Agreement was concluded in the southern village of that name. How great is that? All right. I think that was the list of countries I went through. Give me some more. I'm up for more. If you're up for more. Wow, I've been live for 40 minutes already. Holy, it doesn't. It feels like I've been live for like 10 minutes. My goodness. Should we flip through the big atlas instead? I think we should flip through the big atlas. Wow. Oh, Alex is South Korea. Absolutely South Korea. Let's read the little paragraph about South Korea. I'm excited for BTS coming back in March. Very, very excited. And they're doing a tour. I was supposed to see them in 2020, and of course that tour got canceled. So maybe I'll be able to see them this year. South Korea. South Africa, South Korea. South Korea is a beacon of progress and modernity in Asia, second only to Japan in its enthusiasm for scientific advances and future tech. Korean expats have spread the cuisine of their homeland across the globe. But surprisingly, few travelers explore this ultra-modern but deeply traditional corner of Asia. While the public image of South Korea is all skyscrapers and smartphones, for every high-tech metropolis, there's a medieval fortress or a tranquil national park where locals come to escape the 21st century hubbub. South Korea's uneasy relationship with its neighbor to the north casts a periodic shadow, but for travelers, this is a place to experience Confucian culture without political baggage, enjoying every mealtime as a feast. Here's Gyeongbokgung down here. Very cool. Look at all these fish. So sad about New Jeans. I know. My gosh, poor Danielle. Oh. You know, I imagine that the surviving members will come back somehow, but I don't think it'll be as New Jeans. What an absolute tragedy for K-pop, right? Because they were the group. They were it. They were the future, and they've influenced so many other groups. Every new group from last year sounded like them. Hello, Azher. Welcome, welcome. Tent Maker, finally caught you live. Do you know how Naru's rehabilitation is going? I heard they were planting some trees and stuff. Yes, Tent Maker. Alex says it's also to North Korea. Let's do North Korea and then Nauru, since we're in the ends then. Yeah, they really are trying to, this poor cord, goodness, sorry. They're really trying to fix the country. Like, actually, what a concept. Fix the country. They're not just giving into despair and dubious plots in Nauru anymore. They're actually trying to fix the country. Isn't that something? Here's Nauru, but we'll get to you in a second. Beautiful Nauru. North Korea. Okay, which wire is making that noise? This one. Okay. That wire's making that noise. I'll just be considerate of that. Stop. Stop making that noise. Okay. North Korea. I'd be so terrified living in a small island surrounded by a massive ocean with powerful storms. Yeah, in this day and age, yeah. I can imagine, 30, 40 years ago, it wouldn't be as much. But nowadays, it is a little terrifying, isn't it? Let's talk about North Korea. Secretive only just describes North Korea, the insular northern half of the Korean peninsula. I guess only just describes North Korea. That's a weird sentence. The Democratic People's Republic cut itself off from the outside world at the end of the Korean War and now admits visitors only on strictly regimented tours. When not rattling sabers at South Korea, the nation spends much of its time on extravagant propaganda exercises, making for some spectacular, if surreal, tourist experiences. With an official escort, you can visit pristine, empty state institutions, empty skyscraper cities, empty mountain resorts, and historic sites, and pay your respects to a massive statue of the supreme leader. This last one is obligatory. It says usually obligatory. You have to. You have to. Anyway. Only 5,000 tourists peer over the wall every year, and even fewer roam beyond the capital, Pyongyang, into Asia's least explored frontier. Yeah, don't visit North Korea. Kim Oppa, stop. Don't call him. No. Yeah, saw a guy visited North Korea on YouTube. The hotel's really clean and nice. You go outside when the sun is down, all the windows are dark. Yep. Yes, this is the Ryugyong Hotel. It is the world's largest empty building. There's nothing inside this hotel. Isn't that something? The world's largest empty, and it's huge. It's massive. The world's biggest empty building. Let's talk about Nauru. Nauru, that cord is annoying me. There's Nauru. Do they think that the world is actually buying their propaganda? I'm sure that the regular citizenry do to some extent, you know. This cord is driving me crazy. But I'm sure all the people who are more in the know, they know what's really going on. Definitely perfect villain lair, the Ryugyong Hotel, yeah. All right, let's read about Nauru. Girl Nauru. Nauru's limited beauty can be glimpsed along its coast. Seabirds swoop over green cliffs beside wild seas, and sunsets are nothing short of spectacular. Head to the tiny island's interior, however, and you'll find deforestation from phosphate mining and an eerie landscape of limestone pinnacles. The exposed rock reflects the sun's rays and chases away the clouds, so there's lots of sunshine but frequent drought. The wealth accrued and squandered from mining, followed by poverty and rampant unemployment, have brought the country to near collapse. Nauru's isolation and lack of attractions have also kept the tourists away. The island's most prominent imports are the hundreds of asylum seekers transported here by the Australian government in exchange for financial aid. Oh, Nauru. I would say never change, but please change. Look at this big old frigate bird. I'd be kind of scared to feed the frigate birds. They're so big. All the Pacific Islands, Samoa, Tonga, let's do it. Samoa and Tonga. Yeah, they are just beautiful places, and the people. I've met many Tongans and maybe a few Samoans, but they are the nicest, kindest people. My gosh, if you have a Tongan friend, you have someone who has your back, and all their cousins will also have your back. And all their aunties will also have your back. And definitely their mom, she's got your back too. The whole family will be behind your back if you have one Samoan friend. Tongan friend. Samoa is probably the same. Let's see, Samoa. Slow down, way down to Samoan time. Hardly anything disturbs the balmy peace here except for the occasional barking dog or passing pickup truck. All the attributes of an island paradise are here: cascades, jungles, and endless blue lagoons, but without the usual tourist hoopla. While resort experiences are few, authentic cultural experiences abound Music is everywhere. Exuberant drumming resounds through the fiafia dance nights. Choral music emanates from churches on Sundays, while Samoan hip hop is played day and night. Comprising two entities, the islands of independent Samoa and the U.S. territory of American Samoa. The Samoan Islands share a history of being one of the strongest cultural forces in the Pacific. It's my favorite nation in Africa. Yours is Nigeria. Mine is most definitely South Africa. We'll do Nigeria after we read about Tonga. And maybe hop back to South Africa. I'd hate to pick a favorite in Africa because it's so wonderful and so many parts are so different. But South Africa's number one on my bucket list. Look at that right now. Particularly Cape Town. Tonga, Tonga, Tonga. There we go. Look at this whale. The weather is really tame in South Africa. That's good to know. I've heard that it gets, really, really hot in the summers. Tonga. Say goodbye to tourist hype. The kingdom of Tonga is pure Polynesia. You won't find resorts selling packaged fun, and you won't have to look too hard for authentic experiences because they're everywhere. From the monarchy and Christian church services to feasts and traditional dancing, Tonga pulsates with cultural identity. The backdrop to this vibrant way of life is sublime. Pristine beaches, rainforests, soaring cliffs, and underwater caves. Go with the flow and keep it slow on Tonga time. Oh, I am jealous, English. Your English teacher visited Cape Town, Alex. Goodness. Yeah, I want to go to Cape Town. Let's read about Nigeria. I do love Nigeria, don't get me wrong. Nigeria is fantastic. South Africa is my heart. Let's read about Nigeria. A pulsating and populous powerhouse, Nigeria is West Africa's most dynamic country. And nowhere is this more evident than in its megacity, Lagos. Fueled by oil money and increasingly by tech and telecommunications, the former capital provides a sensory overload where exploding art, music, and cuisine scenes collide with traffic chaos, noise, pollution, and crime. Outside the city, it's a different world, proceeding at a different pace, from Yoruba shrines and languid river deltas to ancient trading cities and poignant slave ports. Sadly, the tension and violence associated with the growth of Boko Haram, which has made much of the Muslim Northeast inaccessible to travelers, has splintered the country, and Nigeria's government is working to avoid it fracturing along religious and ethnic lines. Oh, thank you, Tent Maker. I'm glad that you find me interesting. I do work very hard. Alex, you've been a member for 20 months? No, that's wild. That's a long time. Thank you so much for being a member for so long. I'm going to upload one of the videos I filmed tonight tomorrow so that you'll have something to watch on the weekend. Is it wrong not to have a regular job? I'm currently developing a karst-based educational cave destination. That's wild. You're making a scary cave? Listen, I don't have a regular job. There's nothing wrong with not having a regular job. Don't worry about it. Don't let capitalism tell you that your passion is not worth it. Make your scary cave. I probably won't visit your karst cave destination because karst caves low-key give me the heebie-jeebies. But like in the good way, like a haunted house does, like. Tent maker has no job at all. There you go. There's nothing wrong with that either. Listen, I feel like if you're contributing, like you don't have to contribute to society. You can contribute to someone's life. You can contribute to animals. You can contribute to the betterment of the planet. As long as you are a positive force in this world, who cares about jobs? Like, don't worry about it. As long as you're happy and fulfilled and your hierarchy of needs are met, don't worry about it. Don't worry about having those labels. Don't let other people make you feel jealous or anything. That's right, tent maker is a caregiver for your grandmother. That's almost like one of the most important jobs in the world. Like, don't worry about it. I have a friend who's a caretaker for their child, and that's wonderful. That's fantastic. Good for you for being a caregiver. Not a lot of people will step up and do that. That really shows that you have a lot of good character. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about what the job. No, no, no. Make your cave. Make your educational cave. That's amazing. Care for your loved ones. That's amazing. Don't worry about conforming to a society. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Do not, do not, do not. Totally fine. Nursat, are you? Oh, yeah, you're in Indonesia. Oh, the caves there are so creepy. Goodness, goodness, goodness. On Java, too. Oh my gosh. Thank you, tent maker. It's a lot of people who get paid billions and do nothing all day but look at numbers on the screen at Wall Street. And I say to them, um, you know, do something. Do something with that billions, I can't imagine. If I had more money than I needed, I can't imagine just hoarding it. In this world, I cannot. I absolutely cannot. I'd be giving so much. Have I traveled much in my life? I've traveled a little bit. The past like 15 years, I haven't been able to travel because of money and because of my health. But I've been to Europe twice, and I've been like all over the USA. Start a business in Nigeria. Let them run it. Just be careful. Okay, the cave is 650-meter length. Ooh, and there's an active river inside. That's amazing. That's so cool. Maybe I'll get to visit it someday. But yeah, I remember back in like 2018, 2019, I was getting more financially stable, and I was like, yes, I'm going to start traveling soon. And that year that I'm going to start traveling, 2020, like that's going to be the era where I start doing global travel again. That did not happen, obviously. I was so sad. But anyway. Yes, I've been to England and France are the only international countries I've been to. And then I've been to like over 20 states in the US, I want to say. So most of my traveling has been in the USA. Yep, I'm American. Tent makers from Finland. My goodness, one of like the like regulars here is from Finland. They couldn't make it though. They said they were traveling, so they couldn't stay. Goodness, goodness. We love the Finns here. But yeah, I'm from California. I currently live in Idaho. I'll show you. Low-key dox myself. No, I'm not going to dox myself. Northeast, now over here. What I love about America is you have all the climates. Florida, Nevada, Washington. You name the climate, you have it. That is so true. The U.S. is so big. So here's Western U.S., right? I am from the Bay Area, which there's the Bay, San Francisco and Oakland there. I'm from the Bay Area there. Then I moved to Reno, Nevada. And now I live way up here. You can barely see it in the mountains, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. is where I live now, near Spokane, Washington. You can see the border of Canada is just up there. And the border of Washington is literally 20 minutes from my house. There's a lot of Finns in northern Michigan, yes. There's some relatives in a place called Kaleva, Michigan. Interesting. Yeah, I know Michigan and Minnesota, Wisconsin, it's all Finns and lots of Swedes in Wisconsin or Minnesota, one of the Norwegians. They're all over the place there, and I suppose it's because the climate's so similar, so people migrated there to have a similar climate. And yeah, the Bay does have perfect weather all year round. I miss the Bay Area. I'll live there again someday eventually, but I'm quite happy up here in snowy Idaho. It's really beautiful up here in the Rocky Mountains, you can see. I find it interesting when Finns move to America. Why would you choose a similar climate with lakes and cold winters? I'd love a warm climate. How about that? Yeah, I suppose. I suppose so. You'd want to try something different. But I mean, it's the familiarity of it, I suppose. I don't know. I've never moved to a different country. Oh, let's do South Africa. Let me tell you about the Rainbow Nation, South Africa. Goodness, I always think I'm one off. It's almost. Oh, there we go. So many S's. I have been to Florida. Yes, they do have flying roaches. Thankfully, I've never seen them. I've been to Florida twice, and it's absolutely awful. Don't go to Florida. Florida's terrible. Florida's the worst place I've ever been. Let's read about South Africa. The Rainbow Nation moniker doesn't cover the half of it. The astounding diversity of South Africa is not just seen in its people, but in everything. Landscapes and wildlife collide to offer incredible sights and activities. Beachgoers share sand with penguins on the Cape's beaches. Divers encounter whales and great whites. Safari. Wait, what is that word? Cognoscenti? I don't know that word. Safari cognoscenti watch iconic species in the bushveld, and hikers eye vultures soaring over the snowy peaks of the Drakensberg. The historical sites, ranging from the cradle of humankind to the Apartheid Museum, are no less compelling. And South Africa's human drama, its pain, its injustice, and its hopeful spirit is palpable. The result is sobering and challenging, fascinating and inspiring, alluring enough to keep most visitors returning time and time again. Oh, the humid heat in Florida is miserable. Miserable, miserable, miserable. Florida Keys seem very beautiful. That's true. I have not been south of Tampa, I think. Tampa, let me see. Let me find Florida here. How far south did I go? I definitely didn't go south enough to the Keys, that's for sure. Here we go. Yeah, Tampa. That's as far south as I've been. Let's see, South Africa's so big too, with you on Cape Town being the best location. Yes, I really just want to go shark diving. I want to see some sharks, and I feel like that's the best place in the whole wide world to do it. Definitely go to the Keys or Key West. Yeah, the Keys are down here. You can see the road going down to Key West. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I'm sure it's nice. I bet it's like the Bahamas down there, past all the Everglades. But yeah, I've only been I've been on a road trip and we drove through Florida to Orlando, and then one day we took a day trip to Tampa. And it's miserable there. It's awful. Wyoming is nice, but let me tell you, there is nothing there in Wyoming. There is nothing there in Wyoming. I'm telling you. There's not a lot to see. One of my good friends was born in Riverton right there. And she's like, yeah, there is nothing there. There's nothing to do there. She's in Seattle now. But yeah, it is country area, that's for sure. If I remember, there's no speed limits there because why? Why? Ted Maker loves fishing, hunting, walking in the wild. Yeah, in that case, you want to be in this part of Wyoming and not this part of Wyoming. You don't want to be near like Cheyenne. You want to be over in the mountains near the Idaho border here or Montana border. You'd be in Yellowstone over there. That's where you want to be. If you want the fishing, hunting, walking in the wild. So over here, it's just plains and farms. Literally just nothing. When I mean say nothing, I don't mean like, oh, it's just a bunch of trees. I mean literally nothing. It's grass. It's the plains. There's nothing there. I can't stress that enough. We road tripped from San Francisco to St. Louis. And boy, was it a trip. I'll show you. We went, let me get this. We drove all the way through Reno and then across Nevada. We went around the Salt Lake to Salt Lake City and then through Wyoming. I was sick as a dog. I was very unwell. Let's put it that way. The car hurt my tummy outside Salt Lake City, and I was so unwell all this way. We got to Cheyenne and we stopped to eat, and I felt a little better. I got some beef jerky and was all unwell yet again outside Cheyenne. Then we drove through Nebraska, Buffalo Farms. If I had to choose a country to live in Asia, what would I choose and why? Definitely South Korea. I straight up was making plans to move to South Korea in 2019. Like just straight up. Literally planning to uproot my life to move to South Korea I wanted to move in like 2022. So I was like, I'll go visit in 2020 just to make sure I actually like it. But I was like looking for English teaching jobs and such. I was planning to completely change my life. And then the pandemic happened. So that did not happen at all. Very sadly. So yeah, we drove through Nebraska. And this took hours upon hours until we reached Lincoln. I have a place I wanted to stay in. Seoul. Yeah, I was looking at Seoul. I mean, like, that's where all the jobs are. I could have gone to like Busan or something, but I mean, Seoul's where it's at. This was one of the longest drives of my life because, again, there is nothing, nothing, nothing. The open plains are just grass. I can't stress it enough. It's like, like Kazakhstan, Mongolia, the plains, the steppe, like Ukraine steppe. It's nothing. Then we finally reached Lincoln and it was like, oh my gosh, people are here. That's crazy. And that's when we went south. I think we went this way to get to St. Louis, Missouri. And when we drove back, we were like, we are not going through Nebraska ever again. So we drove to go through Kansas, right? The Philippines. Oh yeah, they do speak a lot of English in the Philippines and Spanish and Tagalog and many other languages. So we crossed into Kansas City, right? And there was a big like toll booth. And we drove up to it and they were like, hey, where are you going? And we were like, we're driving home to California. They're like, oh, so you're going to be driving across the state? And we're like, yeah. It's like, oh, okay, that'll be $5. And we were like, what? We gotta pay to drive through Kansas? Okay, so we paid them the money and then we drove through Kansas. I couldn't believe it. It's so strange having like so many different road rules for all the different states. Yeah, Alex, I think about that when we were going through the plains and then when we were moving to Idaho and we drove through this part of Oregon up here. There was a lot of Oregon Trail sites, and we stopped at one place, and it turned out that that was like a main, like we stopped to like take a bathroom break, right? It wasn't like we stopped for it, but we stopped, we went to the restroom there, and then we saw the signs that it was like an Oregon Trail outpost. And I could see the mountains in the distance. I could see all of the empty plains behind us, and just went, I cannot imagine being in a wagon pulled by ox and horses about to traverse the mountains. Like, I couldn't even fathom what that must be like. Incredible. Those very brave people, and also they're risking their lives because there is hostile Native Americans, diseases, snakes, like anything would just take you out. And then, of course, there's, the Donner Party over here in California. Very dangerous, very perilous. I cannot imagine. I just like soaked it in when I was there. Those people were really brave and tough. Think about Viking ships going to Vinland. That's true. Just going out into the wilderness, not knowing what to expect. I have a book that I might be reading to you guys. I'm debating when I finish this one magazine, which we're going to get to in a few weeks, I promise, where we're brushing the maps, right? I'm trying to think what's after that. And I have a couple of books I'm trying to decide between, but one of them is called Journeys. And it's about like various voyages and adventures and travels throughout history. I think I might pick that one. Either that or another history book, but I haven't decided. But it talks about stuff like that, like brave people heading out to unknown areas like Newfoundland over here, all the way from Greenland to Newfoundland. But anyway, I've been on here for an hour. My goodness. People were very brave back then, traveling oceans to unknown lands and continents. Such a time, right? Incredible. I think I'm going to head out, you guys. I've been on for over an hour. I think that this setup is successful. Let me see something. If I turn this light off, oh yeah, it's my main light. That's the issue, the one on the ceiling. I don't know how to fix that. I have to get a whole new light, and I'm not about to do that. But yeah, I think that this setup is successful. This is a lot of fun. I think we'll do surprise lives like this for the most part, I think. What do you guys think? Oh, this cord's driving me. Engine, stop. All my cats are asleep next to me. 2 of the 3. Does it have Greenland? I don't think Greenland's here. I mean, Denmark's in here. Let me see Denmark. If it has any Greenland content. He's not going to take it. That's just like, it's, oh my gosh, this cord is, I'm losing it. I'm absolutely going to lose it. Here we go. No Greenland. This is the Faroe Islands. It's close enough. But, or you know what? Let me see in the back of the book. Greenland is a very huge country, but population is small. Well, it's huge, yeah, but there's nothing there. Talk about nothing there. There's nothing there. Sure, there's resources and such, but it's ice. It's frozen. Let's see if there's Greenland in here. Nope. They got Svalbard. That's close enough, but nope. Yeah, the little extra areas are the ABCs, Montserrat, Niue, Reunion, South Georgia, Svalbard, Tokelau, Tristan da Cunha, and Wallis and Futuna. So, Greenland, sadly. But yeah, we're going to end it there. I'm going to rip this cord out. I swear, it's bugging me so bad. Stop it. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's still bad. It's this cord right here. Oh, that's bugging me. Have to fix that later. But I'm gonna go. Thank you guys. Thank you, tent maker. You as well. And to everyone else watching, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day or night. Good night or good day. Oh my gosh, this cord. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye.